Hi guys, today we're going to solve two problems na common na may encounter natin for complete combustion. Kung saan kailangan nating i-determine kung ano yung empirical formula ng ating combustion fuel. So let's start with the problem right here. A hydrocarbon fuel is fully combusted with 18.214 grams of oxygen to yield 23.118 grams of carbon dioxide and 4.729 grams of water. Find the empirical formula of the hydrocarbon. Okay, so katulad nung binanggit ko kanina, no? Ang requirement sa atin dito is to find the empirical formula ng ating hydrocarbon fuel. So first, let me draw para ma-visualize natin kung ano yung situation natin dito, no? So let's say this is our combustion chamber, no? So we have combustion happening here. And then, ang feed natin is a hydrocarbon. So it means it is only composed of hydrogen and carbon. And then, meron tayong supply dito na 18.214 grams of oxygen. And it yields 23.118 grams of CO2 and 4.729 grams of water. Okay? So, ang requirement natin is to find yung empirical formula ng ating hydrocarbon. So, we know that we have a complete combustion here, no? So, since meron lang tayong hydrocarbon, it means our reaction is carbon plus O2 producing CO2 and H2 plus 1/2 O2 producing H2O. So, ito yung mga reactions natin for complete combustion. So, in order to find yung empirical formula natin, kailangan makuha natin kung ano ang number of moles ng ating carbon at number of moles ng ating hydrogen dito sa ating hydrocarbon. Okay, so let us try to find kung ano yung number of moles ng carbon. And we can determine that based sa product nating CO2. Okay, because in our material balance, alam natin na lahat ng ating carbon is coming from our hydrocarbon. Okay, so we have 23.118 grams of CO2. So, let us find kung ilang gram mole meron tayo dito sa ating product, no? So, in 1 gram mole of CO2, we have 44 grams of CO2, right? This is 1 gram mole of CO2. But since ang kailangan natin makuha is yung gram mole ng ating carbon, and ang ating ratio here is 1:1. 1 carbon is to 1 CO2. So therefore, for every 1 gram mole of CO2, we have 1 gram mole of carbon. Okay? So solving for our equation here, the grams of CO2 will be cancelled out. Gram mole of CO2 will be cancelled out. So, ang magiging sagot natin will be in gram mole of carbon, di ba? So, let us try to solve that. So, 23.118 divided by 44, we have 0.525 gram mole of carbon. And then, let us find out kung ilan ang number of moles ng ating hydrogen. Okay, so single atom lang ng hydrogen, no, dito sa ating hydrocarbon. Dahil kailangan nating makuha yung ratio ng ating carbon with the hydrogen. Okay, so ilang grams ng ating water meron dito sa ating product? We have 4.729 grams of water times for 18 grams of water, we have 1 gram mole of water. Okay? And tandaan natin, no, ang hinahanap natin dito is hydrogen lang, single atom lang. So dito sa ating reaction, we have H2, no? So that means 1 mole of H2O is equal to 2 moles of H. Diba? So therefore, ang ating ratio here will be 1 gram mole of H2O is equal to 2 gram mole of H. Okay? Single atom ng ating hydrogen. Okay, so tignan natin yung ating mga units. So grams of water will be cancelled out and gram mole of water will be cancelled out. So our answer will be in grams or gram mole of hydrogen. Okay, so solve natin yung ating given. So we have 4.729 divided by 18 times 2. So we have 0.5254 gram mole of hydrogen. So kung nakikita natin, equal lang yung number of moles ng ating carbon and hydrogen. So basically, ang kailangan natin gawin dyan para makuha natin yung ratio is to divide itong ating mga components dito sa merong lowest value. But since they are all equal, so makukuha mo ngayon kung ilan ang ratio nila by dividing sa lowest number. Okay, for carbon, for example, we will have 0.5254 gram mole divided by 0.5254 gram mole. So this will be equal to 1. And ganun din sa hydrogen, no? 0.5254 divided by 0.5254, this is equal to 1. So therefore, ang ratio ng ating carbon sa hydrogen is 1:1. So if our hydrocarbon is CXHX, our X will be equal to 1. Okay, ito yung ratio nila. So therefore, ang ating empirical formula here is C1H1. Okay, so ito yung ating final answer dito sa ating first question. Okay, so this is not the final chemical formula ng ating hydrocarbon because we are just getting here yung empirical formula, and we learned from our general chemistry course that the empirical formula is the chemical formula which is showing the simplest ratio of elements in a compound rather than the total number of atoms in the molecules. So ito yung pinaka-simpleng ratio ng ating mga component dito sa ating hydrocarbon. So the ratio of carbon to hydrogen is 1:1. Kaya ang sagot natin dito is CH. And to have a better understanding, let us try to solve the next problem. Okay? So again, isulat natin yung or i-drawing natin yung ating diagram. In here we have 12.915 grams of biochemical substance containing only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen was burned in an atmosphere of excess oxygen. So natutunan natin that we are providing excess oxygen in order to ensure that we will have a complete combustion. So subsequent analysis of the gaseous result yielded 18.942 grams of carbon dioxide and 7.749 grams of water. So determine the empirical formula of the substance. So empirical formula pa rin ang pinahanap sa atin. So let's say this is our combustion chamber, no? And then biochemical substance is our feed, kung saan ang weight niya is 12.915 grams. Okay? And ang component niya lang is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So yan lang ang component ng ating fuel, no? And it was burned using air, no? And meron tayong ginagamit na excess air to ensure that we will have complete combustion. So ano yung naging product natin? It yields 18.942 grams of carbon dioxide and 7.749 grams of water. Okay, so basically, pareho lang ng ginawa natin kanina, no? Let us try to find out kung ano yung number of moles ng carbon using itong CO2 natin. Dahil alam naman natin na lahat ng carbon natin is just coming from our fuel based sa ating material balance dito, no? So, ang weight ng ating carbon dioxide is 18.942 grams CO2. So, let us get the number of moles ng ating CO2. So, we have 44 grams of CO2 for every 1 gram mole of CO2. Diba? And since ang kailangan nating makuha is yung number of moles ng ating carbon, we will again refer dito sa ating complete combustion reaction. C plus O2 is producing CO2. And for hydrogen naman, we have H2 plus 1/2 O2 producing H2O. Okay? So, that means for 1 gram mole of CO2, we have 1 gram mole of carbon. Right? So, let us check our dimensions. The gram of CO2 will be cancelled out. Gram mole of CO2 will be cancelled out. So, our answer will be in gram mole of carbon. So, let us try to solve that. We have 18.942 divided by 44. So, we have 0.4305 gram mole of carbon. So, ilan naman ang number of moles ng ating hydrogen? This time, we will base that dito sa ating water na nandito, no? So, we have 7.749 grams of water. And then, we have 18 grams of water for every 1 gram mole of water. Okay? Base sa ating balance here, for every 1 gram mole of water, we have 2 gram mole of hydrogen. Okay? Single atom. So, ano yung magiging unit natin dito, no? So, we will have gram of water will be cancelled out. Gram mole of water will be cancelled out. So, our unit will be in gram mole of hydrogen. So, let us solve it. We have 7.749 divided by 18 and multiplied by 2. So, we have 0.861 gram mole of hydrogen. So, alam na natin kung gaano karaming carbon and hydrogen dito sa ating fuel, ano? Pero, our fuel is consist of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So, kailangan malaman natin kung ilang gram mole ng oxygen meron dito sa ating fuel. And we can find out dahil alam natin kung ilang grams meron tayo sa ating fuel. So, if we're going to get yung weight ng ating carbon sa ating fuel and weight ng ating hydrogen dito sa ating fuel, that means we can get the weight of our oxygen, no? So, since alam na natin kung ano yung gram mole ng ating carbon and hydrogen, that means we can get their weight. So, what is the weight of carbon sa ating fuel? We have 0.4305 gram mole of carbon. Okay, multiplied to 1 gram mole of carbon, we have 12 grams of carbon. Diba? So, ano yung magiging sagot natin dito? Our unit will be in grams of carbon. So, ilan yan? Tingnan natin ngayon. So, we have 0.4305 times 12. That means we have 5.166 grams of carbon sa ating fuel. How about the weight of our hydrogen sa ating fuel? So, we have 0.861 0.861 gram mole of hydrogen. So 1 gram mole of hydrogen is equal to 1 gram of hydrogen. So 1:1 lang tayo dyan, ano? So this will be cancelled out. Therefore, ang answer natin here will be 0.861 grams of hydrogen. So, ang weight ng ating fuel is equal to 12.915 grams, diba? So, we have 12.915 grams. So, therefore, yung weight ng ating oxygen sa ating fuel is equal to 12.915 grams, yung weight ng ating fuel. Subtract natin yung weight ng carbon, which is 5.166 grams. Then, subtract natin yung weight ng hydrogen, which is 0.861 grams. So, makukuha na natin yung weight ng ating oxygen. So, ano yung weight ng ating oxygen? We have 12.915 minus 5.166 minus 0.861. So we have 6.888. Okay, so we have 6.888 grams of oxygen. So yan yung weight ng ating oxygen. So take note, para makuha natin yung empirical formula, we need to get the ratio ng bawat component natin. At ang component natin dito sa ating fuel is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And we already know yung gram mole ng carbon and the gram mole of hydrogen. So, kailangan nating makuha kung ano yung gram mole ng oxygen. So, sulat muna natin para matandaan kaagad natin. Yung number of moles ng carbon is 0.4305. Gram mole of carbon. So, number of mole ng hydrogen is 0.861 gram mole of hydrogen. So, ang kailangan nating makuha is yung number of mole ng oxygen. Pero hindi pa natin alam. So, we're going to get the number of moles of oxygen galing dito sa ating weight ng oxygen sa ating fuel. So, the number of moles ng oxygen is equal to 6.888 grams ng oxygen times yung molecular weight ng ating oxygen, which is 16 grams of oxygen per 1 gram mole of oxygen. Okay, so our unit will be cancelled out yung grams of oxygen. So, therefore, our number of moles ng oxygen is equal to 6.888 divided by 16. So we have 0.4305 gram mole ng oxygen. So our number of moles of oxygen is 0.4305 gram mole of oxygen. So, ano yung pinakamababang value natin dito sa tatlong component natin? We have 0.4305. So, we have to divide everything into this value. Okay, so for carbon, we have 0.4305 gram mole divided by yung lowest natin, which is 0.4305 gram mole, and this is equal to 1. Okay, so therefore, our components is C, H, and O, no? Dahil ang component ng ating feed na fuel is only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So, kailangan lang natin makuha yung smallest ratio nila, which is the empirical formula. So, for carbon, we already have 1. For hydrogen, ang ating hydrogen, number of moles of hydrogen is 0.861. So, 0.861 gram mole divided by yung pinaka-lowest value natin dito sa ating tatlong component, which is 0.4305 gram mole. Okay, so this is equal to 0.861 divided by 0.4305, which is equal to 2. Our hydrogen is 2. Okay? Now, kailangan na lang makuha yung oxygen, which is also 0.4305 gram mole divided by 0.4305 gram mole, which is equal to 1. So, therefore, our oxygen is 1. So, our empirical formula is CH2O. Okay, so this is our final answer for this problem.